Hey, everybody. So I just wanted to give you a quick update. So this is for Thursday, September 3rd. I'm your professor, Evan Aw. Anyway, so we talked on Tuesday about what we're going to be doing in this class. We did a Zoom. We're going to do another Zoom, of course, next Tuesday. There is a PowerPoint up there for chapter one that's narrated. I'm just going to briefly go through some key points in chapter two. Then we'll post another PowerPoint that's narrated for chapter two. You'll get that probably sometime Thursday afternoon, and you can go through that. Of course, this weekend is Labor Day weekend. Of course, generally that would be a big sports weekend. Football would have started tomorrow. That's going to be pushed back until next Thursday. I'm sure everybody's looking forward to that. Anybody who's a football fan, so that's a good thing. So, a couple of things real quickly. I wanted to talk about marketing concepts. Of course, again, main thing is to maintain relationships in any situation, to make sure that your logo is visible and recognizable. That's why probably one of the most visible logos in the world is the Nike swoosh. They're probably their company has the most visible, not most visible, most memorable slogan, which is "Just Do It." McDonald's has another one, which is "I'm loving it." Notice that both of them end with "it." If you're in the marketing business, it's always good to have some kind of a slogan that engages you. I'm loving it. Just do it. Both of those are signify action. The other one is to use the word "you" in any kind of phrase. We do it all for you. Things like that. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about social media marketing in this class and how critical that is in terms of building the brand and continuing to have a conversation with your customers. And so communication is critical today. In the old days, we would have TV commercials, and that would be about the only way we could talk to the customer. And now some direct mail as well. Now it's a continuous conversation through blogs, podcasts, texts, email, Instagram, Twitter. All that is critical to keep your brand alive. And there's an old saying, if you're out of mind, you're out of sight. Or if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. Either way, both of those work. So you've got to continuously be active and make your customers aware of you. Today's consumer has a low attention span, so we've got to make sure that we're front and center at all times. So that's what's known as customer focus. In most cases, when you are planning an event, you need to have what's known as a break-even point. So, and this is right out of chapter 2, page 37. A break-even point is where you establish what it's going to cost to do your event, what you have to make in terms of sales to just break even. So that anything above that is gravy. Any sale above that is profit. So, for example, and we're going to talk about this later on, but from a logistical standpoint, when you put on an event, you're going to factor in all the costs that go into that: insurance, legal, putting on the event, which would be all the securing the event, securing personnel to run the event, food, ticketing, promotion, on-site personnel, security. All those are what we call the logistics. And so there's going to be a price for that. And so that'll be probably, whatever the event is, let's say $50,000. So what you have to do is that you have to then forecast how much revenue you're going to make. So if you're going to do this in downtown Los Angeles, you have to forecast that at a certain amount of people, what is your ticket price? So if you charge $10, you're going to need 500 people. Is that right? 500 people? 500 times calculator, 500 times 10 is 5,000. No, you're going to need 5,000 people times 10. Yeah. So you're going to need 5,000 people at $10 to break even. If $10 is too little, then you're going to charge $50. So then you're going to need need 10,000 people, right? My math is terrible. No, you're going to need 1,000 people. 1,000 people times 50 is 50,000. So you need 1,000 people. So you need to figure out what your price is, what you're going to charge in order to break even. So that if you charge $50 a person, and so you know you need to have 1,000 people, the 1,001st person is going to be your profit. So those are things that we will factor into, but you have to always make sure that that you're going to have more than 1,000 people in order to make this event profitable. It always kills me that when some movies are made, we call green lighting. Many of you know that term. It just kills me that these movies that are made that are so terrible, you ask who approved this. Not enough people are going to come to this movie. This movie's never going to break even. It's never going to make back its money even, much less make a profit. So in some cases, movies are made and they're just going to be a loss. And maybe that's some companies, some people invest in them for a tax write-off. Who knows? I always believe that you do something to make money. So I don't understand some of these movies that get made, but that is what it is. So we need to understand buyer behavior. Buyer behavior changes. I talked about that in my PowerPoint. As you age, your behavior, the way you buy things changes over time. We call this consumer spending habits. If you are of a certain age, you remember when an iPod was out, and the iPod was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And now iPods, they still exist, but no one has one because everything that the iPod did is now on your iPhone. So your consumer tastes have changed. You don't need an iPod. You use your phone. A lot of people don't even download or pay for music anymore. They just use your what do you use? You use different phones, music services. I don't remember right now. You use Apple Music. You use help me. I don't remember. But anyway, iTunes is not as in demand as it was 5 years ago, 7 years ago. You're streaming a lot of music these days. Anyway, so we have to look at wants and needs. We're going to talk a little bit on next Tuesday about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You probably are familiar with that, but it's basically 5 levels in a pyramid. The most basic is physiological. The second one, of course, is security. The third one is social. The fourth is self-esteem. And the fifth is self-actualization. So all those are really important in terms of knowing what we need versus what we want. And as a marketer, I want to address both. I want to get what you need. Those are things that I don't have to work too hard to market. The things that you want, I have to work harder to market those to get you to choose mine and pull it off the shelf. Okay. A couple of things from chapter 2. There is mass marketing versus niche marketing. It's great to have a niche. It's great to be able to be a mass marketer. McDonald's, Disney, those are mass marketers. A niche marketer might be Lululemon, although they're more and more of a mass marketer. But they started off making yoga pants primarily for women. Now they've branched out and they're also serving men. And then they've also offered tops and jackets, and now they have shoes. So they've expanded their line. That's called horizontal integration. But they're still a niche marketer because it's mostly athleisure or workout wear or fashionable athletic wear. But that's what we call a niche marketer. So that's something that we'll talk about too in terms of entertainment. There is broad entertainment, and then there's very niche entertainment. So what would be a niche entertainment? Maybe going to clubs might be a niche entertainment. Going to Vegas, although big, a lot of people don't want to gamble. Vegas, of course, offers different things. Food is a big choice. The resorts are going to the pools. The pools have become going to that whole premise is a big deal. So that could be a niche in itself, just marketing your pool particularly during the summer and the early fall. Early fall, maybe even through the mid fall. That is a big deal to pay for your membership, your club, whatever along those lines. We'll also talk about capturing market share. What do you think is the biggest market share today? Of course, it's you guys, Gen Z, millennials, because you have the most discretionary income, you have the most money to spend on consumer goods, on fun and activities, because you aren't obligated to make mortgages. To maybe some of you have car payments, but a lot of you don't have big payments, big obligations. So you spend a lot of your money that you make, if you have it, on fun activities, on sports events. And so you are a specific market that most companies really want to go after. We also call this womb to tomb. The meaning behind that is we want to get you young as a consumer, as a customer of mine, and make you loyal to my brand so that you use my brand until you die. So womb to tomb. It's also called cradle to grave. That's also some of the things we'll talk about. And then we'll also talk a little bit about the service industry. Service, of course, so many people work in the service industry. Our country really has moved from an industrial based country to a service based culture where so many of us are in a service industry or providing a service. As an instructor, I'm providing a service to you. So that's something that we'll address and how important that is. I've already talked about customer service in my PowerPoint and how critical that is, and how companies measure how they are rated against their competition in terms of providing good customer service. So those are things that really, in a quick summary, are from Chapter 2. And I'll go into that a little more in detail with a PowerPoint that I'll post up there. So anyway, I hope that helps. That was just a quick, brief video. We'll do more of these. I'll post one every Thursday. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Be safe. And I'll see you on Tuesday. All right. Thanks. Bye.